Yes, ma'am, you can go on. The recording has started.
Okay,
Just a network glitch. Please don't
all
mind.
right. Okay. So here I would like to invite Dr. A.V. Ajay Kumar Garu to talk about dynamics of Indian folklore in globalized scenario. Let us all extend our warmest welcome to him to take the mic to start with this talk. Thank you. Sir, I here invite you again.
Thank you, Dr. Lakshmi, for your good words and cherishing narrations about our institution and other things. Thank you. Thanks a lot. First of all, I am thanking Dr. Jolly and Dr. Nejil. He was my student in Calicut University. But still, I appreciating them for organizing such a wonderful seminar on online platform because it is the month of March, end of March. Even then, before completing the financial year, the enthusiasm to organize for such a wonderful seminar. Once more, I appreciate both of them and the department too, and the associates that who are associating for the success of this international seminar. See, the Center for Folklore Studies, CFSR, in collaboration with the Center for Folk Culture Studies, CFCS, University of Hyderabad, it is the second international Young Folklorist Conference. So the title is more interesting, especially it is for the young folklorists. Previously, what happened, we are the product of 90s in the field of folklore. When Alan Dennis was here, and we have attended a number of classes and workshops with the leadership of Dr. Alan Dennis and other national level and international level folklorists. But being in the field for the last 40 years, I have more experience on field work and more about the culture scenario of previously 1990 and after 1990. That's why I selected the title, What is the Dynamics of Indian Folklore? Especially, so far we know the development and the culture and the arising and how the terminology has been changed a lot. Even in 1846 itself, when John Thames put forward the terminology folklore, before that also folk was there, their lore was there, everything was there. While researching and presenting the paper, Peter J. Close and Laurie Honko, they made a very good statement about West Bengal folklore. Only because of Britishers, West Bengal folklore is numbered and placed in a very good manner. He's narrating a paragraph for his statement in his book also, Folkloristics and Folklore. See, this is the case of most of the Indian states too. For the sustaining the folk, every organization working in this under folklore and whether it is university department or it is other parallel NGOs and so many other organizations such as Fossils, Folklore Fellows of Malabar Trust, etc. In every state, they are very vibrant also. How to sustain the folk? See, for the Youth Folklorist Conference, they are put forwarding that an introspection into preserving and reviving the laws for future. See, it is against the definition of folklore. In the four functions of folklore, one of the functions they were saying that if the community don't want to proceed such an item or the performance or the ritual, that won't be sustained for more than that because that society is under change. So far we know the evolution of humans and evolution of culture and even evolution of folklore. and devolution also was the second part that we should have to understand one thing. And the rich artistry, we should have to rejuvenate. See, something is basing and existing only can possible to rejuvenate. What Kerala Folklore Academy, what now we are doing is already extincted art forms because the social situation is totally changed. Totally changed. So they were not at all thinking about such a performance or such a ritual or such a traditional value. But even then, in the modern society, in the 21st century, Kerala Folklore Academy, the group working under Department of Culture, Government of Kerala, we are providing fund to rejuvenate, not even rejuvenate, to reproduce and recreate. It was a high task. The last product that has been done in 2003, its name it is related to women, it's a female gender, on gender classifying genders. The Kurundini Patu, it was a traditional art form highly based on each and every moment it has been going on through traditions after traditions, and so many rules were there.
Oh, we lost Ajay.
Yes, I think Ajay Kumar sir has lost his connection here. Yes, yes, yes. He is now. Sir, please unmute yourself. Ajay sir, please unmute yourself. We cannot hear you.
Sorry, unknowingly, I lost my connection. I don't know whether it was the support of this BSNL corporation or what happened. I doesn't know. Okay, sorry. See, I was talking about this Kurundini Patu. Kurundini Patu is a traditional. It was a traditional art form before the last presentation was in 1975. In 1975 was the last performance that has been done in Kannur district to develop and to retrieve and to reproduce. We made 1 year long research and interactions with the local peoples, especially the traditional artists and more the traditional organizers. See, one among that stakeholder was my mother. Her name is Lakshmi. She's no more. And that time, very younger age, she has seen at about 13 or 14 years of old that time, and she has seen that in her house only, traditional Taravadu only, traditional Taravadu means traditional family. Only that was presented. The research team, with the guidance of Dr. Raghavan Payanad and the very popular artist, Sri E.P. Kunjiraman, and several other peoples, Dr. Govindavarma Raja, Dr. Vasudha Kumari, so many youth, young artists, folklorists were participated in that, and we made a one line. And that time, we documented that too. What happened, that time, the postmodern literature personalities, they came for a debate why you are rejuvenating or recreating, why you are taking back. Are you going back to the feudal age? Are you going back to the non-scientific attachment years? What you are going to do? So it was a challenging question on that time. The same is heard before 2 months when we have reproduced one of the tribal art form in Trivandrum. So many fieldworks have been done it. That's why I selected the topic, the dynamics of Indian folklore. That also in the what is the social scenario. That's why I selected that. So I have so many commitment to CFSR and CFCS because they are trying to blend the tradition and innovation. Survival. They are using that particular terminology, survival. And another thing, the global community. They are addressing the global community too, to develop and to engage dialogues. The role of folklore in contemporary society. The society is going on, very rapid changes are going on. According to India also, rapid changes changes have happened. Now we can connect from Jammu Kashmir to Cape Cameron within hours. We can have our breakfast from Cape Cameron, get a flight, drop there in Delhi, come to Trivandrum and drop there in Delhi and had lunch and go to Jammu Kashmir. So distance became null. And another thing, the invention of mobile phone, that became us together, that became so nearer from 1998. So many international changes had been done in the field of communication. What happened, we can communicate very easier. Previously, that we have heard it, that we know very well, a letter and a postman or a teleprinter or the telegram. That only was the media to communicate within each other. Now we can see, we can't touch, we can't smell. Other than that, everything is possible nowadays. Then, according to CFCS also, they are trying to decode and explain the folk expressive forms. Another great and important task was that. In the concept note also, they are beginning with that interaction between nature and human. So we can start with Aristotle and Plato and other persons, because Plato, he himself narrated every time he was put forwarding the same slogan, back to nature. So you go back to nature, everything is there. You can pick from there, you can use that, and without unknowingly, you will be lost your domain and you will be unknowingly passing away. That was the Platonian theory, back to nature. But in the modern time also, the department is trying to bring both of the ends, especially based on nature. Then they started the concept note with the UN Butland Commission. See what UNESCO had done, that we everybody knows it. In 2004, folklore is almost, the terminology also is almost in darkness. So tangible and intangible studies are the best one, because I believe so, especially related to Dr. Alan Dender's definition itself. Folklore have a repulsive power. Whatever they say, whatever they act, whatever they take in action, it can be moved against the negative organizing and more internationalism through the wealth, how it is domining the ruling domains. It may be fight against that. So tangible and intangible is the easiest way, and learn about concentrate on heritage studies, because the repulsive power, everybody, especially the new financial agencies, totally, they are very much afraid of this. They only need the artistical artistical pictures, the catching pictures, the catching words. They need only that thing. Meeting the needs of the present. See, meeting the needs of the present, not for the present. In future also, we should have to preserve something. The ability of future generations, the capacity of future generations to accept and assimilate the terminology and the folk forms and the traditions and the practices, physical practices, which were in prevalent and valent, and whether it is needed or not, that should be decided. Especially, we should have to concentrate the period or the time in between that. So, The intangible nature of knowledge. So far, while fieldwork in Wayanad, there was a person, its name was Chundali. Do you know Chundali means small mouse? It is his name. It was registered in the school. He studied, went to the school only for first standard. That time there was pre-KG, there was no pre-KG, nothing is there. He was a traditional Adivasi, a tribe, placed in scheduled tribe. All the fundings and other things were provided by the government for learning and everything. But Chundali, his name is Chundali. You think about that. How? Whether they were educated or not, his parents' name also is somewhat like that. I am not mentioning that name. And this Chundali, after first standard learning, he left the school and he himself declared that forest is my school. Forest is my bread. Forest is my breathing space. Forest is my playing ground. And that Chundali that we are seeing him long years back, when I am seeing Chundali in 1986, he was about 50, 52 years old. I met him in the forest of Wayanad itself, near Manandawadi. Previously, our former chairman, Sri P.K. Kalan, was with him. He was the Manandawadi block chairperson on that time. And we spoke a lot. Then I asked about his name. See, when Kerala Sangeetnada Academy and Department of Culture of Kerala, when they want to award him to Chundali on a particular traditional art form, that was a ritual, traditional ritual, related according to the death of an Adivasi, and the Department of Culture, they hesitated to declare his name as Chundali. See how it is passing. We can understand the timeline. Even a human is named in name of a rat or mouse. Is it possible in the modern age? No. So it's an antique piece. So Chundali was an antique piece. And the award was declared. And while that time, one of the officials called us and asked us whether is it possible to change his name, sir, in the name of his father or in the name of any god and other things. See what is happening in the modern society, educated society. What is happening? Chundali is losing his own identity or his name among the community and the clan and the caste and the premises and the village premises. So that is going on still now also. Last year, we awarded Sri Cheruvayal Raman. He was the father of seeds. He is owning 45 paddy seeds as his son, and he is cultivating that seeds in the farm field of Wayanad, especially very nearer to Manantodi town. Whenever any researchers are visiting there in Manantodi, especially in Wayanad district, you should meet him, this Cheruvayal Raman. His education is only up to 4th standard, but he was the father of seeds. See, that is the repulsive power. That is the dynamics. So Indian folklore, from the lore, among us from the village or the traditional land, or even in the township, or in the corporation, or in the cosmopolitan city also, as we know, now we are learning about and we are talking about popular culture and especially the modern folklore. We are every time we are discussing. This Raman, he also got 4th standard education, but after that, he went for this literary training centers. So he passed 10th standard. He can speak English, not in a good manner, but even then, he was managing. He attended 3 international seminars in different part of the world. And he also awarded Padma Shri and provided by the government of India and awarded by President of India. After that, while receiving that award, while returned, Cherwell Raman, we are calling him Rametan, because he is the senior brother. He was saying that, so it was my education. My parents taught me how to cultivate. So he's not at all thinking about the profit. That is the basic difference between the modern and postmodern society. What will you get? What will a person get? Not the society. But Raman still says that my parents, my fellow men, my family, and you can see his house that is not electrified, and you can see his face that has been paved with the small roots, grass, and coconut leaves, and the floor that you can see that has been with the mud, and it is covered with cow dung, and no electricity is using in his house, and he was sleeping. He welcomed us into his house. While sitting in the central hall of that house, there was no AC, there was no fan, nothing was there. Small wind, breeze was touching us in a very, very good manner, and we had the hot dishes which Cherwell Raman provided for us. See, the culture, still they were following that. But his sons and daughters, they went to school. They are well educated. They also accompanying father to continue the traditional way of cultivation. He never used. The students may wonder about his life. He never used any fertilizer, but he identifies what are the changes that has been happened in particular village of Wayanad, especially the Mantradi district. Now it was the parliament constituency of Rahul Gandhi. Based on Congress, several political parties are working there. Even his panchayat is ruling by Communist Party of India Marxist, and so many freedom fighters were there. We know the story of Parshi Raja, the king who ruled, who was being vanished by in the year of 1802. That we know very well about the past history, and the slave marketing was there nearer to his township. Still, that practices were there unknowingly. Even when speaking to Cherwell Raman, he was saying to me, see, Mr. Ajay Kumar, in the time of Valur Kavu temple festival, we ourselves declare that we are the slave of certain landowners and leaders. See, that tradition is still going on in a democratic way, a democratic world. Kerala, every Adivasi and traditional person, they also have their own vote in the practice of election. They are selecting, they are electing their rulers. But still, they were under the rule of Valur Kavilamma, the unknown power. They are treating this, the mother worship is there, mother goddess is there. Even they are not at all visited the schools and other people, other spaces for getting so many international knowledges. They are practicing their knowledge and they are disseminating their practices to their community and other people also. See, a very interesting thing, when he was abroad, he got chest pain and heart attack. That time, the Indian business person, this Yusuf Ali, he himself organized a helicopter and brought to India, and treatment was done by him. So it is very interesting to learn about him, such as the Indian agriculture researches were taken place from here to United States of America in the time of Jawaharlal Nehru. Nehru took back Dr. Swaminathan. Dr. Swaminathan's second research institute is very near to Cherwell Raman's house, and Swaminathan also visited Cherwell Raman. They are in very good connection. See, the academic range. So the Cherwell Raman, who is born and brought up in an Adivasi tribal village, and who have the power of planting of seeds, paddy seeds, who owns 45 breed of seeds as himself, and he was approached by Dr. Swaminathan, who was the pilot of our Green Revolution in India, to speak about and how it is, what was the practice. See, this is it's an energetic way of dissemination of folk and folk culture, I believe so. Then another thing, the community, the caste, the clan system, which is very prevalent in India. 2 days back, we have seen one thing. A Dafedar was transferred because he belongs to scheduled caste community. That collector was a middle rank community personality. He don't want that Dafedar because he was a Harijan. He's a Harijan, and he should not bring tea to me. What happened, collector have the power to transfer his post. That Dafedar has been transferred as an office assistant to another nearby office. Why such practices is going on there? So the community, the untouchable community, should be untouchable for every time. It should not be the practice, because they are human beings. They have the privilege, they have the right. Dr. Ambedkar, according to our own right and privilege of our constitution, they have the right, while doing all the practices and all the researches and all the things. It has been repeatedly told by Dr. Ajaya too. That's why the Buffalo Nationalism book was written by him. Still, in the modern age, even in 2024, people are talking about and striving about and repelling about the caste and other things. But caste remains there. Still, it is remaining there. And certain key questions were there. Whether the documentation and the archiving it is necessary. I told it is against the four functions of folklore. But even then, archive, the past history is history. That's why Alan Dundas, one time he shocked and agitated for a question, and he told, folklore is ever folklore. So it is the platform for all of the subjects, because it is our life. Folk is there, their lore is there. Whenever human beings are there, their lore will be there. So folklore is folklore itself. So he made the least and the best and the foremost definition forever in folklore. Is it necessary to document and archive? I told you in 2003 incident, I told you. Even my mother was I was interviewing her. She also told me, dear son, that time the gynecology and obstetricians were very, very rare. All the pregnancy and the delivery of the boy were attended by local community people, especially the ladies from Malaya community. And she will be along with the family and the people and the in and around. It is the responsibility of the local community. Whenever a lady is absorbing a kid, from that time itself, whenever the baby took birth, till that period, 1 year long period, it is the responsibility of the Philomens and the local people to look after her, and what is the development in her, what was the threat in her, what was the physical disabilities that she is going to facing. So a lady who is carrying a baby in the womb, she was under observation. She should not be starved. The local landlords, they are providing the seeds and other things, the rice and other things, the paddy and other things, the oil and other things. So they were taking consideration, because one new kid is coming to a community, a clan, It is the power. He may open new world. He may be a legendary person. People believe so, like that. So many practices in between these 9 months, at about 270 days or 275 or 280 days, every day, that girl, that lady is under the observation of local people, and she want to undergo so many local practices. Is it possible? Is it possible to archive or to recreate in the most modern world? You will be insulted, no doubt at all. That I have faced it. Before 21 years, I have faced it. Even my mother also told that is not possible. But we reproduced that. While seeing that reproduction and the production, the leading visual medias, they covered that so many questions and interpretations have been done. One among that procedure, tradition, that was a lady was seated in a medicated water vessel, and she want to sit for to the least 30 minutes in the water itself. It has been put this turmeric and the rice, so many Ayurvedic compounds in that. And finally, the Theyyam will come, and that Theyyam also will perform in a very good manner. The drum beats will be there, and howling sounds will be there. And this lady, she will go on trance, and she has been taken out, and she has been taken to her room, and she changed her dress and came back. She gave an interview to a leading channel. What was your experience? That she was saying that I seems it as a treatment. She's an aged lady. She was a theater personality, but her statement was, I being the part of an archiving. What it was happened, I have heard it. My grandmother was already told it was been done very early ages. We don't have any practice, but the senior artist, when they were too young, while 2003, they were choose some aged are there, 75, 76 year aged artists were helped us to reproduce and to retrieve that particular extincted art form. So this is a capacity in one side, but who is to see that? Who want to see that? Only the researchers, then it is not at all needed. For their PhD, let them have some other title. That I believe so. Then the most modern technology that bring us together, the scientists, artisans, everyone, they are bring together, and the scholars also bring together. The academic platform, which were created by the universities and the Government of India, Department of Culture, several state governments, and they published a lot of books, and everything. What for? Our past is like that. It was the thinking capacity of that. Then why I use this terminology on this? I used a term dynamics. Dynamics means several definitions are there for dynamics, because it's a regular terminology used in physics. Physics, that's why Sunita Williams, we are waiting for Sunita Williams, and we are awaiting for recovery to get acceleration and gravitation, and how she can walk like us, because she came from all the way in the space, and her life is a reality. She's with us, and come back. Energy is needed. It's a sort of energy. I accept this, the continuous and productive activity. While using the terminology dynamic, not dynamics, dynamic, I appropriately used that terminology for this continuous and productive activity. That is folklore. That's why the Indian folklore, the dynamics of Indian folklore, it have a continuous process, and it is so productive, and that activities which were against or the pro, but still it is overcoming. That's why all the traditional art forms in all over India is still in practice. Then another thing, a factor that controls or influence a process of growth and change, interaction or activity It is so mobile. Indian folklore is so mobile. It have the mobility to one end to another end. There is no end. It's infinitely, it is moving on there. Then, while speaking about folk and folklore, Alan Dundas, in the book Who Are the Folk and What is Folklore, he continuously saying that the process of growth, say how you can measure growth. So several parameters that you can use for the measure. And another terminology I use this globalization. In general, I wish to open you. It is the vanishing of border lines. So India have its border with Pakistan, and other side in Bangladesh. And you can see the marking and maps. Very interesting stories behind that. When Mountbatten demanded Dr. Syriac, Syriac was sent by Clement Attlee to India to make India's map. And the Dr. Syriac, while arriving here in Delhi, he visited Lord Mountbatten and requested him, "Sir, I am to go back. I doesn't know anything about India's geographical structure, political structure, demographic structure, nothing I know. So then how can I draw the map of India?" That day Lord Mount, he was replying him, "Mr. Syriac, you can't go back because it is the order of Clement Attlee, and you were instrumental to do that." It's an interesting thing. Freedom in the Midnight. You should read once more. All the students who are attending this, all the youngsters who are attending this seminar, you should read Freedom in the Midnight book. And what he's saying that Mountbatten is saying that, taking two pencils from his on the ear, he cut here and there how India is. Several interesting things were there. Then I'm not going behind that. Then the global scenario, stories about how history might unfold in this century, in this law, in this land. You just think about that. So it's very interesting. While saying that, what is the marking point of globalization? According to India, GATT agreement was there in 89. Practices were there. The unknown notes, what were the unknown notes in the GATT agreement? That also the students should learn. But from 1992, the time of Narasimha Rao, India, all the doors of India were open for international marketing. So that year itself, I have received that a globalization period that starts from 1992. Then only the Indian Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, Mark 4 ambassador was vanishing. Even then, in the time of Rajiv Gandhi itself, Maruti car is launched. Fiat also is vanishing. New brand of cars was here and there in India. In every village, you can say Hyundai cars. That is not Indian. All the parts were bringing from other persons. The dress which was worn, weaved in Kannur district, I am from Kannur, the northern part of Kerala, that has been worn by a student in Canadian universities or in, Pennsylvania universities. When I was there in Pennsylvania, while received this Fulbright scholarship, while speaking to one of my professor, Dr. Dan Van Amos, he was saying about the fabrics, about trimmings. He was speaking about trimmings and about the thread and the threads and the weaving structure and the roofs. He was speaking about that. And he showed me one lungi woven in Kannur district. He purchased in an international trade fair. See, all the border lines were changed in the sense of culture. The doors were opened. Now the singers, the bowl singers, They are presenting so many bowls are presenting in Kerala. You see the distances between West Bengal and Kerala. And another interesting thinking, it is about culinary folklore. Culinary folklore, the McDonald's, KFC, is accepted by every villages of Hyderabad, Kerala, especially my township also. My township is a very small township. Kannur is a very small township. Even we have an airport, but it's a small township. You can see several international food vendors were there. It is not at all online. Now the online trades also is there. No kitchen is getting a very good smoke or very good smell. No kitchen nowadays. Kitchens were away. Kitchens were hijacked by Swiggy and Zomato and other persons, the food agencies, and several powders. The natural blended powders were internationally sold out. That you can see we are seeing that old rice. It is paranganji, means the rice prepared yesterday will be having tomorrow, the next day morning, and it is having with the probiotic curd also. That it has been marketed in five-star hotels with a very great bill that was there in your own kitchen in a mud vessel. And after 12 hours in the early morning, that porridge was the stamina of the old traditional men who were working under the sunlight for 8 or 10 hours in the farm field. And in the time of rain also, he only produced culture. He is the part of the culture. He himself made the culture. He himself made the law, and he himself made the folklore. His remains, his worships, his practices, that we are going to research. So whenever a researcher is approaching a person, you should have to run behind according to his tradition and age. So the dynamic of Indian folklore, even in the globalized scenario where there were no borders, there were no lines, the air is free, we have internationally connectivity, everything is there. But what he experienced, his experiences going on research and for archiving. So it's the process of increasing interdependence and integration among economics too. Economics is an important, very important part. So reduce the barriers to trade, liberalize the capital moves, and development as transportation. Everything is changed. Then another important thing that time is marked as this post-Cold War world. About 1990, it was marked with that post-Cold War world. It fostered the trade of exchange. Even it is not a commodity or the commodification, but it is a time of transfer of ideas, beliefs, culture. See, narrating story was there. Previously, I mentioned about Chundali. He was a very good storyteller. He was every time telling the story about one Buddha. That Buddha have no resemblance of Gautama Buddha. Buddhist practices are not at all there. That time, while writing the constitution itself, Ambedkar find this Chundali too. I believe so. Because the self-learned nature provided information that was their knowledge. See why? Very interesting thing. I am to ask one more thing. Anyhow, I can see Dr. Lakshmi. It is the time. It is up to 12 o'clock. I think so. That's why. If it is time, I will.
We have a time to discuss.
Okay, then Jolly, I will finish it within 2-3 minutes. See why Hitler accepted swastika, the idolic symbol of Indian Hindu Aryans. He's not accepted that symbol. It's a borrowed thing. He borrowed from Indian culture. We know about Aryans, a superior race, and being a German, he was against to all of the remaining world. But the regional ethnology, that also we have to accept the ethnological studies of Scandinavian countries too. We have to think about that. So Aryan race in Volskunde, why they were accepting that? So the ideas, ideologies, and everything will be grabbed in the modern premises, and the agriculture songs will not be sustained because the agriculture is getting reduced in Kerala, and the sacred groves, when land become the commodity, the sacred groves were cut into sizes, in the very, very small sizes, and several agencies were there to bring serpents to a particular point, and you can sell the remaining part. So everything became that. And the according to Kerala's traditional traditional art form Theyyam, that also were getting, new generations were involving that, but their academics is too less comparing to olden age. So still, I believe that so many other things also we can put on discussion. Anyhow, I'm going to conclude my title according to Alan Tendence. What he says that folklore is just folklore, and more, I think, the dynamic of Indian folklore, even in this time also, it is very emerging. So thank you, Dr. Jolly, Dr. Lakshmi, Dr. Vijil, everyone who heard me. And if you have any questions, or we can find certain remedies. Thank you.
Um, Here, I would like to conclude based on Sir's presentation. Sir, this was extensively shared experiences about your life experiences to the youngsters, to let them understand about the folklore of India, representing our rich cultural tradition, which they embody our heritage of culture, creativity, aesthetics, and craftsmanship. India's folklore tradition form a vibrant, if we have understood by your talk, tapestry of having, reflecting its cultural diversity, having moral ethos and historical continuity. I would like to conclude saying, about how our cultural tradition of Indian folklore, that is, Indian folklore, thrives in oral narratives, regional art forms, and performing arts shaped by its ethnic and religious diversity. Folk art, when we talk about, depict local myths and rituals. Oral epics blend history with mythology, often challenging mainstream narratives. Dance and music draw from seasonal cycles and legends, preserving community identities. And significance of folklore, if we talk about, is a folklore serves as a cultural anchor, as you said, sir, fostering moral education, allegories to teach honesty, unity, and resilience. Social cohesion, if we had heard about his narratives, we understand that there was a reinforced shared values across castes and tribes. Artistic innovation, folk traditions inspire contemporary literature and performing arts, bringing ancient and modern India together. Preservation techniques, if we look at, to safeguard these traditions, effective strategies include documentation, which has a digitally archived oral histories, community engagement, that is training local storytellers and integrating folklore into school curricula, artisan support, reviving folk art markets, and certified traditional artists to ensure economic sustainability. These are the points which I thought of, and few more. Safeguarding in globalized world, which talks about globalization, poses challenges like digital competition, but adaptive measures can help. That is how digital storytelling leveraging platforms like YouTube for virtual folk performances and apps for interactive story sharing, cultural diplomacy, showcasing festivals internationally to promote cross-cultural exchange, skill upgrades like blending traditional crafts with modern design to appeal a global audience. In summary, India's folklore is not just a relic of past, but living tradition. By combining grassroots preservation with innovative global outreach, these stories and arts can continue to inspire future generations while retaining their cultural essence. Thank you. Here I would conclude with my talk. And let me introduce myself. This is Professor Lakshmi Reddy from Hyderabad, studied fine arts and was a student of Central University in MFA and as well as PhD from Central University. I take pleasure to conclude Dr. Ajay Kumar Garu's talk. And I thank once again to all the organization members and also thank for listening patiently to the talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Lakshmi Reddy Garu. But I think we can take, if there is any question, we can take one or two
Yes, sir.
questions.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
One
So
or
because
two
Ajay
questions.
sir has taken us to the local levels, how even though in the globalized scenario, how folklore survives in its manifold manifestations, and bringing Chirvayal Raman to his own mother's stories, to the Theyyam, to the Kaleri habitat. And it was wonderful to listen how it's changing globalized scenarios, but still we permeate with a lot of hope. And as Lakshmi Reddy ma'am has told many things, that has been undertaken under his leadership by the Kerala Folklore Academy at present time. So it is also wonderful. So the question, it's open to the question. I'm not talking.
If anyone have any questions, they can please raise your hands and ask to Ajay Kumar, sir.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Please,
Please,
speak.
yes, sir. Thank you very much for your very insightful topic on the dynamics of folklore. So surely we understood that folklore is dynamic and it's still being creative. Not only that, but we also would like to know something about the uses of folklore, especially folklore is not only dynamics, but it also can be used as a dynamite. For example, how the Nazis used German folklore to develop it as a weapon for promoting Nazism and the Aryan supremacy culture. So, folklore is not only dynamics, but it is also has the qualities of a dynamite to explode and to create into new ventures and to promote one's own culture, cultural identity and hegemony also. So what about your opinion regarding this question, sir? Thank you.
May I, Jolly?
Yes, of course, of course, of course.
See, thank you for the question. That, what are the uses of folklore? You just go behind your childhood. What are the stories that your mother told when you were in her lap and having her nipple? You just think and imagine about that. So, Indian origin, pan-Indian stories, pan-Indian characters influenced 95% of the total Indian citizens. I believe so. Their characters. We doesn't know who is Ravana. We doesn't know who is Rama. Then so many negatives are with Rama also, because he sent Sita in the forest when she was carrying. So many things are there. But still, we doesn't like Ravana. So certain characters influenced very much. Then the very interesting thing is politics of it is dynamite also. You learn the story. You can understand the story of our great Nobel, who found the atom and the spontaneity on this atom bomb and other things. He never received. He left his faculty also. So previously it was there. Internationally, the cultural identity and the power of hegemony, the hegemonical scenes, caste identity, power identity was used by the Jewish. Still, it is there in Israel. War is going on. So, the folklore motifs, what it is accepting, or the symbols that were using, they have certain agendas. That agenda is going on there in India also. When comparing to study about political parties, their identity, even the small community also has an identity crisis of caste community. So the folk and folklore, they have the power to overcome the such very narrow-minded pathways and to love the universal brotherhood. That is the dynamism of Indian folklore. That I believe so. That I conclude so. Okay.
Thank you, Ajay sir. I think, thank you, Senthil, for the question.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying these things. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm giving it to Rusha.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. Soma, please go on.
Yes, sir. You were talking about the origin of folklores. I cannot help but think about the fact that you see that there is a common similarity between texts like Iliad and Ramayana, and both of them uh, they start by the abduction of a woman. So it makes me think somehow that is there something among human beings that they think in common, and that gives birth to certain folklores. What are your thoughts about that? It's just it's just an observation. I want to have some of your thoughts regarding this.
Thank you for another question that I think you are a theater personality. See, we have genders only two. We have learned in the primary classes too, male, female. Now it is transgenders. We are assembling them, assuming them everywhere here. But even human beings are identically one in nature, one in health status, one in physique. But their thinking capacity is entirely different. The boy who is sitting in the Houston city and who is sitting in the Tokyo and who is sitting in Delhi or in Hyderabad, for our boys with 4 years or 5 years age, you think about him, his premises and his basic culture itself is creating his childhood, his thinking capacity. It nurtured and monitored with the nature itself, which was surrounding her. Then outstanding thinking, when it is coming, say, so many writers are there. We can't write a play which Shakespeare was written. We can't write a play which Basan was written. We can't think about that. But the emotional feelings everywhere in the universe, see, the affection to a kid, whether it is a black kid or it's a white kid or a semi-colored kid, the eternal love, which is instinctively coming, that we are putting into certain columns with our research parameters, and we are classifying and we are saying that this is like that. That's why modernity, post-modernity, and liberalization, post-liberalization, internationalization, everything is coming on that way. And according to drama, I have participated one drama in when I was there in Southeast Missouri State University. There's a very good department there. They produced the Ramayana, and after the production, I participated in the discussion. Our Rama is far away from your Rama. I think my answer is right. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your answer. Much appreciated.
So thank you, Ajay sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for such a wonderful and interactive session, such an inspiring session for all of us. We had such a very enriching experience to interact with both of you, Dr. Reddy and Ajay Kumar, sir. Now, the first keynote session is over. We will be having a 10 minutes break, and Then we will be moving on to our first paper presentation sessions. There will be 2 parallel sessions for all the participants. So you may refer to the schedule shared and join through the prescribed links. The session will be starting at sharp 12:10, sorry, 12:10. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.